want to grow your business? We help you grow your business. Today, we are excited to invite you to the Connectional America exclusive business networking event, powered by the fast-growing, popular podcast, the American Business Podcast for the Next Generation ABP. This exclusive business networking event is an online event. You can connect online anywhere in the world. Join us. Meet with business professionals, executives, and leaders. Introduce yourself, your company, your products, and your services to other businesses. Make meaningful business connections, expand your professional network, and grow your business. This exclusive business networking event will be moderated by the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, Kevin DeVecchi. Limited seating. Register today. Visit www.americanpodcast.tv to register today. Registration link is listed in description as well. Attendee contact list will be shared. We help you grow your business. Hope to see you there. Register today.
This is the American Business Podcast for the Next Generation, ABP, with Kevin DeVecchi. ABP is a popular business podcast with thousands of subscribers on YouTube. The American Business Podcast community is growing fast. Thank you for your support. Subscribe ABP's YouTube channel today. The American Business Podcast is coming to you from the center of the global business world, New York City, with new educational business content is coming to you every week. Visit the official website for more information and corporate sponsorship opportunities at www.americanpodcast.tv today. Now, the American Business Podcast ABP's new episode is starting.
Hello, welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin DeVecchi, your host. Today we have John Cozy with us from Onshore Funding. So let's welcome John to our virtual stage, but if we can. All right, that's great. Hello, John.
Hello, Kevin. Thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much for your time and thanks for being with us. As a start, would you please introduce yourself and your company to our audience?
Sure. I'm a solo practitioner in onshore funding. It's just a name that people might remember. We specialize in business loans and business lines of credit. We only work with business owners, and that's it's a complicated field. So I just focus on those two aspects of things, compared to people who want to get stock investors and equity in their company. It's a different kind of animal. So we just focus on business loans and business lines of credit.
How did you choose your career?
I've kind of evolved into that. I started off in college as a computer science and math and economics major, moved into business school directly in finance, fell in love with options, was an institutional options trader and salesman, worked in financial investments, technology, investment research, and it was an evolution. My latest role was with a company that did a very narrow form of funding, and I realized that as I was interviewing potential businesses, that I should be able to offer them a variety of solutions as opposed to just one solution. So many people will go to a bank for a loan and they don't qualify for a loan, but they don't know that there are so many other funding sources out there after the bank says, I'm sorry, we can't do that, or their loan application is turned down. So I think I can serve people and businesses better by being a generalist.
Can you please tell us about your work a little bit? What are the exciting and challenging parts of your work?
Oh my gosh, there are so many, so many challenges. Usually a business comes to me, to folks when they're already in trouble and they're in a hurry and they needed the money yesterday. So really it's the timing challenge. And sometimes the timing is, I need to get this $500,000 loan done by Monday. And of course, today is Friday, that kind of thing. You just can't help them then. The challenges are working with what the resources of the business owner has. For example, the business owner may not have, if they're a real small business owner, they may not have the financials that you need. The business owner might overstate their personal credit score. And you say, why would a personal credit score, a FICO score, be important in a business? Well, business lenders have found out that the business is likely to pay off a loan if the business owner is a good financial steward of his own personal finances. And that's why FICO scores are important. And why I say is that a challenge? Sometimes people will tell me they have a 700 credit score and they have a 600 credit score. And that all depends on how they get funded. So my job is to take what they have and put it to the right funder and not waste anybody's time.
Because of the nature of your business, you work with many different small businesses.
Oh
So
gosh.
in your experience, I'm sure you meet with many of them from different industries, different sizes. So what are the typical challenges that you see in small businesses in terms of funding, capital management, based on your professional
Sure.
observation?
Well, the funding ranges from startups to businesses that have been around for a long time. But the big challenge for a small business is that, number one, they are a startup and they haven't been around for a while. So they would need to go to an SBA loan, but you have to have a certain credit score to get an SBA loan. But there are some banks that don't fund startups. I have non-bank lenders in the SBA world that will fund startups. Some businesses don't make enough money to qualify for some funders. Some funders used to want to see at least 10,000 a month in sales. Now they want to see 30,000 a month in sales. So those are the typical challenges, is that they're too new or too small.
Well, in terms of your professional experience and observation, can you share some success stories, those companies, small businesses that manage capital well, funding well, some success stories if possible? We don't have to have the company name, but just some examples will be great.
Yeah, I would say this. I don't expect any small business to be good at financing and financial stewardship, because the owners are good at what they do and they're trying to run their business from day to day. So they have to rely on others. And I have relationships with a couple of CPA firms that are good financial stewards, and they know to come to me. For example, I'm working, one advisor alone has a few different clients who will at some point in time want to sell their business or buy a new business or have a key employee buy the business. They know enough to ask an expert. Now, we think about lawyers. We don't have law degrees. We go to a lawyer if we need legal advice. We go to an accountant if we need bookkeeping and financials. We go to a commercial banker if we can get a commercial loan. In the commercial lending space, you need to go to somebody who knows that space, because those other three players know what they don't know what they don't know, and they come to me with referrals for their clients because I work in this space all the time. This is such a, loans, and where we are now, it's May of 2025, and there's a lot of uncertainty about the economy. Lenders are becoming more stringent in their lending practices. Some of them are restricting certain types or raising the bar for the requirements of their loans. And it's a dynamic environment. So small businesses just need to know that although they could do that by themselves, it would take hours and hours of trial and error. And the question is, do you really want to do that? Or do you want to use someone who is more familiar with the space to guide you along?
I like us to talk about a little bit of AI, if possible. That's a popular subject. Some businesses implement AI practices, some technologies in their
Yep.
own trades, own businesses. Uh, what is your take in terms of AI and how AI is changing or will be changing business, and what type of changes it may bring to your industry?
Sure. And I'll say it this way. There have been a couple of times in my life where I've seen something. I said, I don't really understand this, but I think people that do are going to make a ton of money. And I think it's the same thing in the AI space. The businesses are trying to figure it out right now, and there's trial and error. But in the financial space, it could be highly leveraged. If anybody goes online to inquire about a loan, they're going to say, hey, I'm your AI virtual assistant. Can I help you? Or what the lenders are trying to do is saying, we know what kind of lender we want at different price points. So you put in this information, and then we're going to put you into what we call in the industry a box. And that box is where you're able to borrow or not borrow in certain products. So AI is in its infant stages. It's trial and error. It's not the magic bullet now, but down the road, it's only going to get better and better. And one thing, Kevin, you and I know this, the most successful businesses in the world, you think about Amazon, you think about Google, they're the businesses that have the most, they harness technology in the greatest possible way possible. So in the lending space, a lot of mistakes come from human interaction. If you keep things away from humans, there's a less likelihood of making a mistake until you get to the very end where there is going to be some kind of interaction possibly. So it's in its infancy and it's only going to get better and better.
Let's talk about some predictions, if that's okay. What is your take in terms of predictions? What will happen in 2025 and beyond in terms of economy, job market, as well as capital funding industry, you will say? John? All right, looks like, let's see. John, can you hear me? All right, let's give him a minute. Well, in the meantime, yes. So, all right. So let's see. Let's make sure he connects, and then we continue our conversation. All right. So can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, I was talking about predictions. If we can talk about predictions a little bit, what is your take in terms of 2025 and beyond, in terms of economy, job market, and capital funding industry in general?
Well, there are 4 areas where their impact is going to affect how the industry goes, and that is number 1, the tariff situation. We don't know how that's going to affect the economy or other economies around the world. Number 2, inflation. Because of tariffs, what will that impact the cost of anything we purchase today, and really everything we purchase today? Then the economy, of course, the economy is impacted by both the tariffs and inflation, and then the geopolitical risks that are out there. So this is an area of heightened uncertainty. The businesses that I see, and I have to say this, and this is early May of 2025, okay? Since the beginning of the year, there's been a little bit of a slow start, but then an immediacy for businesses looking to refund expensive debt. They want to acquire capital so they could fill big orders. We call that purchase order funding. So there are purchase order funding, and if somebody gets a $20 million order for, over the next 3 years, how am I going to pay for the materials on that? Well, I have funders that are going to help that. Or I have an asset, I have a building. I could pledge that and get some working capital. So the question is, they know that they need something, they might have something. And those are the conversations we have. And if there is uncertainty, my job is to give the business owner clarity or more clarity to make a decision either way. So we're either going to do that or we're not going to do that.
I'd like to shift the conversation towards your career journey. In your career journey, have you had any role models? Do you have any role models that you can share with our audience?
I would say that, like anything, there's probably never a single role model that does everything right. In my faith, that's only one person. So I would say there are people who contributed to it. The first person I really, really admired was someone who was my sales manager, who saw the work that I did, who had the vision. The people who are the best role models are people of good character, and you can define character any way you want. But they had a vision and they walked the walk. They actually did what they said. And when they didn't believe something, my manager had a major disagreement with the path my company was going down with the owner of the company. He ended up resigning and he went to another company and he was successful at that company. So it's those people who will resonate with you as a young person, as a business owner, where you can learn from what they're doing or apply that to your personal life and your business life. And it's really hard to distinguish the two. So we will take bits and pieces of that along our journey.
How about some lessons learned? You have decades of experience, professional experience. So in your career journey, can you share some of the lessons learned with our audience, that things that you learned that you never thought about before in your earlier years of your career, but then you learn and then it made some difference in your career journey?
Yeah, I would say that one of the first lessons we learned, and I was part of a big MBA hire from around the country for a major firm at the time, a major Wall Street firm. And the first thing they told the 15 of us, and this was in the early 80s, one of the first thing is, this is a small industry. You don't need to make a lot of friends, but don't make any enemies, which is interesting, and that can be interpreted in many ways because it's a small business. Any business is considered a small world, whether you're working in engineering or law or your section of law. You want to be able to get along with folks and yeah, of course, make as many friends as possible. But I would say regarding your network, people don't know this. I didn't know this until like years later. Your Rolodex, as we used to say, or your contacts folder is your single most important assets. I had a few jobs that I got just from working with either clients or people who I was close with for a couple of years. So they get to know, like, and trust you. When people know, like, and trust you, they feel that they're happy to either work with you or they're happy to refer you to someone because you're not going to embarrass them or their reputation. So two things. It's like, keep in touch with your network and grow your network.
Well, one of the things that we focus on, which happens to be the most important part of our podcast, is sharing educational content with the next generation. We have a lot of young professionals listening to us, as well as seasoned professionals listening on our podcast. What is your take in terms of internship programs for the next generation to prepare themselves for their career journey in
Sure.
general?
I've seen this firsthand in my companies and in other companies. Internships are great for doing two things. Number one, allowing the intern, the student, to understand a little bit more about that company and their industry, even if they're doing supposedly minor work. And number two, it's the opportunity to see if that company would be interested in that intern when the intern graduates. For example, let's say you have a law firm that brings in a few different interns or several different interns, depending on the size of the law firm, over the summertime, and that for the interns, if that works out, will end up in a job offer from those firms when they graduate. So you're kind of interviewing for a job at that internship program. There's an old magazine called Success. It's no longer in existence, by W. Clement Stone. He was the publisher, and he had an issue every year that said everybody sells, and you and I are selling all the time. And I think people need to understand that that's what they are in fact doing, is they're creating their own brand, whether they're aware of it or not.
Yes, these are important insights. Much appreciated. I talk to young generation, next generation as well, in terms of how they should prepare themselves for their career path, and what they should be doing in this preparation process. So, for those in next generation workforce and professionals, for those who are thinking about being in finance, funding, or capital management industry, do you have any career advice for them that you can share here in our podcast
Yeah, the
episode?
first thing is, if you think you know the industry, you don't. Unless you have a parent or a close friend or relative who can tell you about the industry, you really don't. I had no clue coming onto Wall Street. When I was working at my firm, my first firm, they had 10 different areas of specialization in institutional sales and trading and services. And that didn't even count investment banking. So it's going to be, for you as an intern, for anybody as an intern, a discovery process. It's like, you're going to see a certain aspect of this, and then you're going to learn about it. and then your opinion is going to be formed. I thought I knew a lot about the stock market. I think it wasn't until like 25 years in that I think I had a clue, and it scared me for what I didn't know. So I would say for the individuals, if you might have an inkling, and sure, go ahead and pursue that. But where I am today, in lending, in commercial loans and lines of credit, is really a culmination of a lot of the skill sets that I acquired over the decades.
John, thank you very much for your insights. Before we end our episode, how our audience can reach out to you if they like to get in touch with you, continue this conversation, or they like to contact you? What is the best way to contact
Thanks,
you?
Kevin. Well, I hope it's in my nameplate there. It's John K at onshorefunding.com. But I think they should just go to the americanpodcast.tv website and get in touch with you, and you can get
Yes.
in touch with me.
All right. Sounds great. John, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for sharing your insights with our audience
Thanks
today.
for the time, Kevin. Nice to see you.
It's a pleasure, as always. Thank you very much. And to our audience, thank you very much for listening to us today. We had another informative session with John Cozy from Onshore Funding, and we are planning to have many more other informative sessions to bring you informative, educational business content every week. Also, thank you so much for your support on YouTube. We have more than 14,000 YouTube subscribers, and this number is growing on daily basis. That's really motivational for us. If you haven't done so, please go to our YouTube channel, American Business Podcast for Next Generation ABP. Please subscribe, like, leave your comments. We really appreciate it. If you have an idea that you'd like us to cover in one of our podcast episodes, you can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. If you like to be a guest in one of our podcast episodes, also you can send us an email. We keep an open mind. We love to hear from you. You send us emails, messages. We are very happy. We respond. We are very responsive in that sense, and we'll continue to do so. So you can reach out to us anytime for any ideas that we can cover in podcast, or you like to be a guest. You may be wondering what is coming up next in our podcast episodes. We have a whole list listed in our website. Our official website is www.americanpodcast.tv. You can go to our website. As soon as you log in, you'll see the list of coming episodes that we announce. You'll see what is coming in terms of subjects, who will be our guest. You can also see that, and you can also see our Spotify link, Amazon Music link, and other links as well, including YouTube channel. I'd like to thank you for your time and thank you for your interest. Looking forward to seeing you at our coming episodes. Thank you very much.
Do you want to grow your business? We help you grow your business. Today, we are excited to invite you to the Connectional America exclusive business networking event, powered by the fast-growing, popular podcast, the American Business Podcast for the Next Generation ABP. This exclusive business networking event is an online event. You can connect online anywhere in the world. Join us. Meet with business professionals, executives, and leaders. Introduce yourself, your company, your products, and your services to other businesses. Make meaningful business connections, expand your professional network, and grow your business. This exclusive business networking event will be moderated by the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, Kevin DeVecchi. Limited seating. Register today. Visit www.americanpodcast.tv to register today. Registration link is listed in description as well. Attendee contact list will be shared. We help you grow your business. Hope to see you there. Register today.
Hello, this is Kevin DeVecchi from the American Business Podcast for the Next Generation, ABP. I would like to personally invite you to the Connection America Business Networking event that will take place in May 2025. Please join us and make meaningful business connections. Connection America will run virtually. You can connect from anywhere in the world as well as from North America and the United States. I hope you can join us. Please sign up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Connectional America Business Networking event. Thank you very much.
Support for the American Business Podcast for the next generation ABP comes from the Marvelous CRM software. The Marvelous CRM software is an AI-powered marketing and business development software. It is for small and mid-sized companies. You can manage your prospects, customers, contacts. You can manage your sales pipelines to increase revenue. You can send unlimited emails. You can also manage and schedule your social media accounts. Moreover, the Marvelous CRM software helps you design your company websites, online stores, and event registration websites on the same platform. The Marvelous CRM software brings you a customer portal for you to manage your customers and members. The Marvelous CRM software is modern, easy to use, secure, and affordable. Subscribe today and close more deals. This is the American Business Podcast for the next generation, ABP, with Kevin DeVecchi. ABP is a popular business podcast with thousands of subscribers on YouTube. The American Business Podcast community is growing fast. Thank you for your support. Subscribe ABP's YouTube channel today. The American Business Podcast is coming to you from the center of the global business world, New York City. With new educational business content is coming to you every week. Visit the official website for more information and corporate sponsorship opportunities at www.americanpodcast.tv today. To be a guest at the American Business Podcast, email us at americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com.